Hi, welcome back to part 2. So last week I showed you how I made this, and I promised you I would show you how I had created this effect and made this pocket and this envelope. So stay tuned and we'll get on with it. So now I'll show you how I did these book pages. So one of them I've stuck there, I did one there, that's one on there, another one on that tag there. Actually I could put that there and that tag could just clip on there with a safety pin. That would be that page finished. I might just, not a safety pin, paper clip, but that's my idea there. So as I say, I did one for the page there, and then I made tags out of another page. So we will just do that now. So this is the book page. It's quite a large book. I thought I had left it down the side and I put it back on the shelf. I'm getting into putting things away. So this is the book page, and because I tend to use pieces of coffee dyed paper, they're just A4, and my pages tend to be made up with a bit of coffee dyed A4, just copier paper. I have bought some slightly thicker copier paper now as well. This is like sort of standard sort of 90 GSM, and I have bought some 120 and some 140. So that's now making A5, and the words on this page sort of fit A5 really nicely, which is one of the reasons why I really like it. I've also got a vintage dictionary. This dictionary is earlier than this one. I can't remember what date it is on this dictionary, and that sort of fits an A5 perfectly as it is, with no need really to trim the pages, although I do like the pages being trimmed. So I use a ripping ruler for that, and then that gives me, I've got all these lovely, this is quite a thick page. The dictionary page is really thin, but this is really thick. So I've got loads of these strips which are really good for stamping stamping on and using them for words on their own. It's really nice to have some sort of genuine vintage paper, although are 1950s vintage? Oh, I think they are, aren't they? Well, to be fair, that was 70 years ago, isn't it? So yes, when you have a brother that was born in the 50s, you kind of think it's not that long ago, but I think it was. So yeah, I'll just go around these edges. Marjorie and Jack. This is a book all about childhood, so it's got a wonderful cover which I would probably use as a cover to a junk journal. So we've got that, and then I've got some paper napkins, paper serviettes. I really like this one. It's got nice foliage and butterflies. I'm not so keen on these little fairies, but I loved these butterflies. I quite like the mushrooms and the flowers. I have not used the fairies at all, but I am going to do a flower fairy journal. Keep saying need to stop. And this one is got scenes from Paris, so we've got the Eiffel Tower there. I loved these flowers as well, and I just love these little bits of font on here, which is what I thought went with this sort of idea. And so what you've got to do, you may well, if I'm a granny teaching you to suck eggs, I apologise, but what you've got to do is you've got to get rid of the get rid of, you've got to split the piles, the plies. So napkins are usually 2-ply or 3-ply, and I'm staring up there at the sellotape. I don't know why I didn't get that down in the first place. So I'll get a bit of this. Probably shouldn't be doing that with my teeth in this current climate, but I am making this for me, so it doesn't really matter. So there, that pulls then that apart. So this one is a 2-ply. And this gives you a really nice thin layer for decoupaging on, but you still can use this layer as well. This one is a 3-ply, so I've got to pull 3 layers off this. It usually says on the packet whether they're a 3 or a 2-ply. The Paris one doesn't actually say on the packet, but I've tried really hard to get another layer off, so, and I haven't succeeded, so I actually think it is, because that is as thin. So that one's done, whereas this one has got another layer. And I've got a couple of packets of napkins where you can see some of the prints. You see, comes away, whereas the other one definitely didn't come away. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of stamping on this with some of the fonts to make my own sort of patterns on it. So what I've got is I've got this very old Stampin' Up stamp, and it says the secret of life is enjoying the passing of time. James Taylor apparently said that. I'm going to use Stays On because when you're decoupaging this on, you will use, I use PVA and water, so just ordinary school glue, PVA, cheap stuff, and then I've just watered it down a bit. So if you used water soluble, I'm not going to where the sort of the edging of it was, so I'm just going to stamp that there. You would, yes, the if you used sort of ordinary water based, it would run when you add your PVA and water. So I'm just going to do a couple of these because I might take bits of the wording out. The stamp set has got other nice sort of labels as well. We've got friendship, quite liked that, and the thank you from the bottom of my heart. We've got this too shall pass, I quite like that. You could, if you have a sad memory, you might want to sort of remember that you were sad. There we go, so that stays on. So I'm gonna try and clean it as much as possible. I haven't got any stays on cleaner. I think I need a little bit more squirty with my Stampin' Mist. That's a little bit cleaner. Not that it matters because it doesn't affect its ability to stamp. And the other thing I want to do is stamp a bit of the script. I've got another font here, You Are Wonderful, I like that. I've got a stamp here with love on. So these are all Stampin' Up sets. These two are current sets. They're posted for you. Really love it. I've done a video on that before, and then we've got Rooted in Nature. Do like that one. So gonna get these done, and I'm gonna stamp off with this one so that it's not as dark. And I'm going to do one actually on full strength next to it. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that. I love this love. I just think it's really what I like is the way that the flower replaces the O. It's one of the things I really like. So let's do this one. Do that again. And what's nice, you get with every serviette you've got, you get, it's like you buy one, you get one free, or if it's a 3-ply, you get 2 free. And I do quite like the ones that still have a little bit of the pattern showing. And then I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to do this twice, once in the full strength and once in half strength. Might put another one up there. Fill this serviette. So I've got plenty of scope for what I might want to do. And I am going to give the love a bit of colour. And I'm going to use Stampin' Blends for that, because it has to be alcohol. I'm going to do it on the back. Not that I'm sure that makes any difference, but that is just what I've decided to do. So I've got a light smoky slate here. Is it smoky? Yeah. And I'm just going to colour in that letter there. I'm going to do the leaves. This is a light shady spruce. Give it a little bit of colour. Not masses, just a little bit. And then a light flirty flamingo on the flower. Just give it a hint of colour. That is going through to the other side, but so you get a nice little subtle colour. I might actually, why don't I, so we can see the difference, do the same thing with it on the front, and we can see if there's any difference. There may not be. And because it's an absorbent, so sometimes you can just leave your pen there and it will just bleed a bit up, so you can let the ink do its own thing if you want. And then a little bit of pink. So you can see it is a bit different doing it that way, I think. So that was all the colouring I wanted to do, and then I'm going to use an aqua painter, and then I just draw around each of the images. And this helps with sort of ripping it, because it will now just tear off where it's been wetted, and then you can just go round and pick off any of those damp bits. They will just come off, so you've got a nice sort of fluffy edge. It's easier than just ripping, because obviously didn't join up that little circle there, not that it really matters. And then you just pull them out, whereas ripping it without doing that, if I show you, it's a bit harder. You've got less control, and it's not as quick and easy, and you don't get, I don't think, such a nice sort of finish, and you've got more danger of ripping your image. So that was me hand ripped, and that was me using a bit of water, so you can see the difference there. Much better to use your water. So even though that's been left a while, it's still ripping away. Oh, I'll get another one of these that I stamped off. Left a bit more of a margin. Right, so we may or may not want those, but they're there if I need them. So I want a bit of Paris as well. So I'm going to take that. Make sure I've got water on my brush. Of that, and I might take this flower here. Because that's quite nice. Wanted to keep that Paris written there. You can see the P and the I, the R, PA, sorry. It's a bit lost, but there is part of it. that on the edge of the thing. Right, so let's keep that at that for now, and we'll see how we're going. So put a bit of that up there. You can overlap, so it's a bit like collaging. May not use that on this bit. May soften that edge there. May get some water in my brush. So then when you're sort of happy with it, you get your PVA, you get your brush, should have rinsed my brush, but sometimes I like to put a little bit underneath, and sometimes I'll just brush it on top. And I'll just brush a bit over it so it sticks it down, and this will give the book page a little bit more strength as well, because you're adding glue to it. But this one, as I say, is strong anyway, and but it does help with the really thin dictionary one that I have. So I'm going to put that. Oh, let's spell love the right way, Jez. So let's stick that down there. So we're just sort of collaging it on, and then this can either go on a page or you can cut it up and create tags out of it. You know, I'm gonna just put a bit of colour from that in that corner. And let's have a bit in this corner. And then I want something in there. I'm gonna get some more flour, I think. Those roses are pretty. nice there. So I don't really plan, I'm just chucking it on, but I really like the mixture of words. So this one that I stamped off, you can just see little bits in between the lines. That one you can see a little bit better. And I want something there. There was that, I quite like that. But we need to get rid of the straight edge. So we just pull that a bit so that we can have just a little bit of different colour in there. Oh. I do have to be a bit gentle. It's a bit heavy-handed. And then when it's dry, I will add some more Stampin over the top of that. And I will pull these edges off. So then we've got more rough edges, which adds to the nice look. So you can either leave it to dry naturally or you can waft it with a heat gun. So I might just waft it with a heat gun. So there we are, I've dried it a bit. There's still little bits that are wet, but there you can still see, you can see the difference there where it's got sort of like the white edges, which is why this is a bit, by stamping it, you might have thought, why don't you just stamp straight on the paper? But it stands out a little bit better. You've got those sort of like white bits, which is quite a nice effect, I think. I like it. And with the PVA, I don't know if you can see, there's a slight shimmer on it, and so it's getting quite strong, that is. And if we take one of the sheets that I did before, so like this one, if I stuck this on the back of that, then I've got a nice stiff, like that is nice and stiff. So I could then add a pocket here because the paper's sort of strong enough to take it, because this is quite, as I say, it's very thin copier paper. So if I want to put a pocket in to hold things, it needs strengthening, and this is a perfect way of strengthening it. So that was one thought. Or what I did for these was I stuck it onto some coffee dyed cardstock, and then I cut these labels out. So that's the other half of this. No, it's not, that's very vanilla. It's not even cardstock. I thought I'd put it to the side here. Oh no, oh, it's there staring at me in the face. So this is the other side of that sheet there. So I quite like that grid stain, so I think if I was going to do that, I'd stick it to this and have that as the back of my tags. So you could cut a few tags on there, that would be a nice one. And that would be a nice pocket as well. I put it there sideways as a tag. You can see how I got that. But the other thing you could do is maybe use this to decorate some envelopes. But first I want to do a little bit of inking on it. So I'm going to use a sponge dauber to go round the edges. That, then I'm going to do a little bit that will do. And then I want some stamping. I've got some grey granite, and I've got the special delivery postmark from that posted to you set. So I'm going to put it over that sort of postage stamp there, and then I might stick it over a few other elements. On the page like that, and I might do some of the script over the top as well, in cinnamon cider. So I might, oh, this is getting a mess. Don't really need my scratch sheet, do I? So I do like the look of stamping over the top of those images that I've put on as well. So it just gives it a much more, even more sort of vintaged, aged look there. So I thought I might do some little envelopes, and I've got some little envelopes. I've got these, falling out the packet. I've got these wage packet envelopes, Traeger Mills, which is down in Devon and Cornwall. And they are quite nice. I've got one out of the packet, and I've got these little dinner money ones. I think these were from the pound shop ages ago. Yeah, little money envelopes, name, class, amount, and I thought scrapbooking journals, they would be cool. And I've cut the bottom off one, which I thought would work as a nice pocket. So I quite like that. I think that would be a nice pocket, but that's not big enough. So I might cover this envelope with that. That is quite nice. I want that sort of centre on. So if I put it this way on, I can kind of see where it's going. And I might stop sort of there. So I'm going to cut that down. Yeah, so I'm going to cut that down just above the words. So I might get a little bit of that pink flower. And I want that across there like so. So then I can cut this envelope. But I'll get it stuck on first. I thought I'd do this so as if it was being stuck to the page, so I don't have to worry about decorating the back. So we'll take that bit off there, and that can be used for another bit of collaging. Don't have to chuck it. Likewise that one. Make a little cluster on the page to sort of match it. So they need a sponge dauber, which I actually can't see now. I can see this, but not my dauber. It's staring at me in the face. And then I'll cut the envelope down as well. And then we want the envelope to be cut down along there as well. Oh, I've got a little chopper. I'll use my little guillotine. Right, let's come down a little bit more. That worked quite nice. I could have ripped the top, couldn't I? I was thinking of it going actually to the edge to give that edge a bit of strength, which I will do. So we'll get all these edges inked. I want a bit of font showing at the bottom there, and maybe up the side a bit. Like so. Loving it. So we'll get that glued on. I'll say I want this to go right up to the end, so that it's got a nice strong bit where the pocket's going to open, so it's going to go sort of in and out with tags. I do want it to be nice and strong there. So that's a nice pocket, which would actually, with the colouring, fit better on the opposite side of that one. Ready to put some of those tags in that I made. They would go in there quite nicely. And you could put a little cluster at the top there with maybe the word memories or something on there. So quite liking that as an idea. Might just do it. So you could make it a double pocket. Let's try that. And just go down the three sides, so you've got a double pocket. So you can put that one in the pocket behind, and that one in the pocket in front. How cool is that? Put them both down the back one. There. And then we've got a really long thin one as well. Might be quite nice poking out. So that's a really nice page. And I think we need a pocket here, so we could have a, I did wonder if I could cover this envelope entirely. I'm sure if I just ripped this in half, vaguely in half, so we want to go a little there. Then we could cover this envelope. Lose a bit of the Eiffel Tower then. Let's put this one on the front and the Eiffel Tower on the back. It doesn't matter about that bit. And then we could have the Eiffel Tower coming down there, and then that's a nice decorated envelope. Methinks it might need to be a little narrower. I could wet this to rip a tad easier. There, that's better. So I'll take a bit off this as well. So I'll just take a bit off that side. So we're going to do that on the front there. So we're going to take that bottom bit off. So this would be nice put in a pocket. And then I might stick that on there because that's quite plain. I think it needs a little bit of something on there. So, and I might put a bit of book paper on the inside there because that's, I like to see a bit of writing on the inside. So, put this down. On the other side. What's sometimes easier is if you're only taking a small bit off, is to leave the small bit there. And let's take the scissors. bit of glue on that. Probably now. And then what I like to do is ink right, so need to ink down the side of that. What I might actually do is just put another word on it. So glue that, and this will make this a very strong envelope actually, because it's got lots of layers. And I can just put things in, tickets, memories. I keep all my tickets, things, and this is a nice little envelope for putting tickets in. I can fold that over. I might stick a word on there. Wonderful. Would actually go nicely on there, or even the secret. The secret of life is, and then you could have as if you've got it written inside. That's quite cool. I would leave these to dry a little bit better. There we go. So I want a word on there. Actually, now you can see where some of that ink has run, because that got stamped on with water-based ink, which is why you stamp on the napkins with a permanent ink. So that's that side, and then I do want put enjoying across there. There, I think I might just leave that to dry and pull those ends off afterwards, and then I'll show you all the finished bits when they're dry. So that's the envelope finished and dried, and it's quite a nice sturdy envelope, and I thought I would just hook it over there, so then on that side you can see the word The Secret of Life, and we've got that pocket that I previously created, and I thought, well, I could put a little clip there, but then I remembered I had these, so I thought what I might do is create a little belly band there and tuck that down, or I might actually glue it as a pocket, put that down, and then that has the effect of holding that in place, which I thought might be quite cool. So I'm gonna just clip that off, and round those corners again with my corner rounder, which is hard in. So although as a pocket base. Don't know that I necessarily need a corner rounder, but I've rounded the other corners, so so I will. There we go. So that will stick on there like that for that to tuck in. And I think I will leave it just as a belly band, then I can tuck other things in as well. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue on these ends, like so, and glue it across like that, and then that's it done. So I have thoroughly enjoyed doing that. I hope that's been useful, and there, and I think that is a couple of lovely pages all completed, ready to get sewn in. I'm obviously going to do something on those bits, but and I may, because I'm doing separate pages, I have the option of using that somewhere else and using that somewhere else. I decided to have a go at decorating pages and then putting an album together, so I may well like put an envelope through there or something. Okay, hope you like that, and I'll see you next week for another instalment. Okay, bye for now.